Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival. So today what I want to do is I want to go through a whole bunch of different tactical hand and arm signals. Tactical arm signals, hand signals, all that kind of stuff can be really useful in tactical situations. And you know, for preppers who are learning to defend themselves against outside threats, I think it could be something that could be useful. This is sort of a compilation of stuff that I've learned over the years. You know, it's a combination of military stuff, law enforcement stuff, stuff I've seen from YouTube, just a whole variety of different sources. So it's not necessarily any one thing or another. So if I show one signal that you're like, no, that's not the signal, it's this other one, granted, it absolutely could be. This is really just kind of a primer on this information for you guys to be able to make up your own system. You know, you could use some other variation of these. Obviously, you don't have to use the same ones. But as always, this is just kind of something to get you spur thought for your group, your prepper group, whatever the case may be. Have you practiced these things? You know, so like I said, I'm certainly not an expert on them. I've just kind of gathered up stuff from, you know, years of experience, as well as looking around on the internet and trying to kind of pull everything together. So I think there is roughly 80 some of these, so I might split this into 2 videos. We'll have to see how fast we can get through them. So anyhow, with that, let's go ahead and get started. If you want someone to do a map check to let them know, you know, to identify where you are, then hold your hand out flat and point a finger down onto it. Okay, so if you have received an order, so maybe you've received an order over the radio from higher up or something like that, from your squad leader or whatever the case may be, then you can close your fist and put it right over your heart like this, or you can just hold it straight out like that. Okay, so if you have a question, you want to ask a question, then what you can do is you can curl your fingers up like this, sort of like a question mark, kind of curling them up over your bicep. Like, hey, I have a question. If you don't understand a command, then you can hold your hands out like this and basically just be like this. I don't understand. If you want to tell someone to look or observe in a particular direction, then you basically put your hand over your eyebrows like you're trying to look, like on a sunny day, and you just do it like this, and then point to where you want them to look. Now that is different than telling them to go over there. That's just saying stay where you're at and observe that area over there. This is probably the hardest one of all of them. If you want to say okay, say okay. I may have been wrong. The last one might not be the hardest one. This one could be. If you want to say yes, then shake your head yes in a very exaggerated way. You need to make sure you do it in an exaggerated way, especially in a tactical environment, because if you have a helmet on or something like that, your head could be shaking inside the helmet and the helmet's not moving much. So make sure it's really exaggerated. And with no, obviously, it's head side to side, shoulder to shoulder, no. If you want to say disregard, then you can just wave your hand, just like you're waving to a neighbor or something, like you're wiping it off of the chalkboard maybe. That might be another way to look at it. Just wave and say disregard. If you want to tell someone to listen carefully, then you cup your hand around your ear like this, telling them to listen. If you want to tell someone to take cover, then you can just pat your hand on top of your helmet or your head like this. If you want to let somebody know that there's imminent danger coming, then you cross your hands across your chest like this. You might need to do it multiple times. If you're trying to let somebody know that you're safe from the imminent danger, then you can throw your hands out just like that. I'm safe. If you want to tell somebody to be quiet, just put your finger over your lips. If you want to tell someone that you hear talking, you can take your first forefinger and your thumb and go like this. If you want to tell someone that you hear yelling, then you can do it the same thing, just with all your fingers in your hand in a wider motion. It's yelling. If you can't hear what someone is saying, then you can just point to your ear. Point to your ear. Notice that's different from asking someone to listen carefully when you cup your hand. If you can't hear them, point to your ear. If you want to tell your other squad members to take a break, then you can just rest both hands flat out over the top of your chest like this. That's take a break. If you wanted to say that you heard a male or you saw a male, you're trying to impart that maybe the voices that you heard were male, then you rub the side of your face like you're rubbing your beard. If you want to try to impart that you have a female that you're either seeing or hearing, then you put 2 fists over the top of their breasts. If you're trying to impart that you see or hear a subject that's a bad guy, then you basically grab one hand's wrist with the other one. If you want to impart that you have hostage or victims on the scene, then you basically just put your hands around your neck or one hand around your neck. It's a hostage or a victim. And obviously you could follow that up with 3 or whatever the number are. If you're trying to impart that someone there on the scene is an adult, then you basically just hold your hand out at head height. If you're trying to impart that the person is a juvenile, then you just hold your hand out at chest height. If you're trying to impart that it's a child, then you hold your hand out at waist height. If you want to say that you need to have a supervisor come forward, then you can take 3 fingers and put it over here on the sleeve. If you want to impart that there's a crazy person or a mentally deranged person on the scene, then you can just do the old crazy signal right up to the head. If you want to try to impart that there is someone bleeding on the scene, then you can put your hand out like this and just kind of bring the fingers down like blood is coming out. If you want to say that everything is calm, you can put your hands out like a prayer, like you're praying, and then just smooth it out. So just like here, right out flat. Everything's calm. If you want to say that you hear an altercation or see an altercation between 2 people, then you can basically, slap your face like that. If you want to say that you've seen a dead body, then you just hold one hand facing down, one hand facing up, and flip them. It's a dead body. If you need support and you need more people to come to you and help you, then you basically close the fist and make a T, followed by the number of people that you need. Like if you needed 2 people. Need support, 2 people. If you have the enemy in sight, you can point with your forefinger out and your thumb down. I'll turn to the side so you can see that. In the direction of where the enemy is. If you want someone who is coming to you to stop, just hold your hand out flat like that to say stop. If you're traveling in a group and you want the group to stop or halt, and they're behind you especially, then you can hold your arm up at 90 degrees with your closed fist. If you want to say go and tell someone to go over there, then just use your pointer finger with your thumb tucked in and just point multiple times to where you want them to go. If you want someone to come to your position, just point to them and then bring with a palm facing in, pump it multiple times telling them to come in. If you want the group to rally up, hold one finger up and just tell them and circle it like this, straight up in the air, to rally up. If you want the group to run or double time, then pump your fist up and down in the air like this. If you want to tell someone to go back, you can do a 3/4 circle above your head, say go back. Go back. If you want to tell someone to go physically look at something, then you can say you go and point to both eyes like this, look. So you're telling that person to go physically inspect whatever item it is that you're pointing at. If you're saying that you're ready or good to go, just hold the thumbs up. If you want to tell someone to go around a corner, just hold your hand out and make it like it goes around a corner. If you want to tell someone to go upstairs, just go like that, go up the stairs. Or if you want to say go down the stairs, just do it down like that. If you want to tell someone to push something, just push both hands out like that. If you want something moved, just basically simulate like you're grabbing it and then moving it. Like to move something out of the way. If you want to impart a basic pistol or a generic term for firearm, then you can just hold a toy pistol and pump your thumb up and down like that. If you want to say that there's a shotgun, somebody is holding a shotgun, then you can just do the fake, pumping action of a shotgun. If you want to do a pistol, specifically a pistol, then you can do the firearms thing and then just, show the approximate size of it. So it's basically short. If you want to do a long arm, then you can do the pistol and hold your arm out longer to show them that it's a long firearm or a long gun. If you want to say lights on, then just hold a fist closed like this, and then push out the fingers like that. If you want to impart that it's dark, then just hold both hands over the eyes. If you're patrolling and you want to tell the group to get in a file formation, then you just hold your hand up just like this, bladed right in front of your eyes. Straight line file. If you're patrolling and you want to tell the patrol to spread out into a line formation, then just put your arms out into a T. Just basically make it a T like this. Let everybody know to form out into a line. If you're patrolling and you want to let the other folks in the patrol know to do a staggered wedge, then you can just do it like this. When you're patrolling, if you want your other members to go into an actual wedge, then you can just hold the arms out at a low V shape like this. If you want the patrol to move into a diamond formation, then you can just hold a diamond like that. If you want to tell them to put their gas mask on, then you can cup your hands and your face and nose, or nose and mouth, and then pull the strap up over the head. If you want to let them know that you're going to throw a flashbang, then you can just basically simulate like you have one, pull it, and throw it. If you want to let somebody know that another person has a knife, then you hold one fist up and just cut it with 2 fingers. Knife. If you want to say hour, then you can basically make sure you guys can see that there, and use the middle finger and the forefinger to make the shape of an L. If you want to say minutes, then you can basically just put it up into the shape of a small C, curving that forefinger. If you want to say that there are many, like as in many, too many people to count, or just a whole bunch and you don't know how many, then you can hold your hands up and flash it like this. If you want to say meters, as in distance, how far, in meters, then you can bump your fists and then say 2, like as in 200 meters or 100 meters. If you want to tell someone to get on the radio, then you can do the hang loose symbol, put it up to your ear, just like a telephone. If you need a medic to come forward, then you can hold your hand out and put 2 fingers on the wrist, like you're taking a pulse. If you want to impart that you need a helo or that you hear a helo coming, then you can basically just do the rally symbol from shoulder to shoulder. If you want to impart that you see or hear an airplane, then you can just flat hand across from shoulder to shoulder, like an airplane flying across. If you want to impart that they're infantry people or soldiers, then you can just put your hands out with your fingers curved down. If you want to impart a sniper, then you can basically just put your 2 hands out like you're looking through a scope. If you want to say that someone is a friendly, then you put the gun shape out with your thumb up with no movement. Again, that's opposite of the enemy. Thumb up, no movement. Remember, a firearm has the thumb moving. If you want to say execute, as in begin the mission or start to move or whatever, put a thumb or a fist out and put a cupped hand over the top of it. Execute. If you want to know the pace count, then you can just take your hand and tap your ankle. What's the pace count? If you're coming up to something dangerous or a dangerous area, then you can take your fingers out and basically cut them across your throat. It's dangerous. If you want to say water, as in you're coming up to a stream or a lake or something, or you hear water, then you can do just the waves. If you want to say that there's a building, or you see a building, then you can just put your hands together in the shape of a house. If you want to take, or another way to say take cover is to put your basically a bent arm in front of your face, like you're hiding. Head down. When you're patrolling, if you want someone to do a flanking motion, then you can do a wide curve, like you want them to go around the side. If you want someone to attack, then you just punch out in the direction that you want to be attacked. If you want your team to clear the area, then do an upside down rally signal. If you want your team to cease fire, then wave your hand and up and down above your head like this. Cease fire. If you want your team to do 360-degree security, then you close your fist and do a rally signature or a rally symbol. 360-degree security. If you want to say that you've seen an IED or you suspect an IED, then you have your fist up and slowly explode it out. If you want everyone to spread out, then just basically take your hands and like you're pushing away, like spread out. If you want everybody to tighten up the formation, to pull in tighter, then just pull both hands in, say tighten it up. If you want your team to spread out and take cover, then wave both arms over the head quickly like this. And that is all, guys. Alright, so I'm not sure exactly how many that is. Like I said, they're just, just to give you guys some ideas. You can come up with your own if you want. There's probably 100 more. There's probably 3 or 4 different ways to do each one of these signals that I just talked about. This is just one way to do it. I'm not saying that I'm the expert on hand and arm signals or anything like that. I've never been on a SWAT team or anything like that. I've been a law enforcement member for a while, and I have been on some different kinds of specialized teams and stuff. But it was I'm certainly not a high-speed operator or anything like that. So some of these could definitely be different in different scenarios, different situations, and the way that people use them. Anyway, guys, I do appreciate you watching. If you're not subscribed to this channel and then you are interested in disaster preparedness, outdoor gear reviews, or wilderness survival, urban survival, then please click the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. And for those of you who are subscribed, hey, I would definitely appreciate the thumbs up button and sharing it with your friends on Google Plus or Facebook or whatever other social media you use. And as always, guys, don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.